Most snake plant growers do one thing that quietly works against them from the very first pot. They grab a bag of standard potting mix, fill the container, and assume the plant will handle the rest. It looks fine at first, then it slowly does not. The problem was never the plant, it was always the soil. Welcome to Plantier Lab, where smart growers discover plant ideas that actually make sense. Snake plants are sold everywhere as the easiest plant to keep alive, and in many ways that reputation is fair. But there is one area where most growers consistently make a costly mistake: the soil. Today we are going to break down exactly why bagged potting mix is the wrong call for snake plants, what the roots actually need, and the exact mix formula that makes a real difference. There is one specific ingredient combination I will share later in this video that most growers never think to use. And once you hear the reasoning, you will not go back to bagged soil again. If plant ideas like this are useful to you, subscribe to Plantier Lab so you never miss one. Here is the thinking most growers bring to a snake plant. It is tough, it survives neglect, it does not need much water, so surely any soil will work. That assumption is exactly where the problem begins. Snake plants are forgiving in many ways, but they are not forgiving when it comes to how long moisture sits around their roots. The right way to judge any soil for a snake plant is through three questions. First, does it drain fast enough that water does not linger after watering? Second, does it stay loose and aerated even after several weeks in a pot? Third, does it resist compacting over time as the plant grows? Standard bagged potting mixes are designed for a wide range of plants. They are built to hold moisture because most plants need that. Snake plants genuinely do not. That moisture-holding design, which works well for flowering plants and vegetables, quietly works against a snake plant from the moment the pot is filled. Understanding this gap is the first step to getting the soil right. Snake plants originate from dry, rocky, and well-draining environments in parts of West Africa. In those conditions, their roots are used to short, intense moisture events followed by extended dry periods. The soil around them does not stay wet. It drains quickly, dries out, and allows the roots to breathe between watering cycles. This is not a small detail, it is the foundation of every correct soil decision for this plant. When roots sit in moisture longer than they need to, the plant does not simply pause its growth. The root tissue begins to weaken. In mild cases, you see slow growth and occasional yellowing. In more serious cases, root rot develops, and by the time it becomes visible above the soil, the damage is already well established below. The roots of a snake plant are thick and fleshy, which means they store some moisture on their own. That is a useful survival trait in dry, rocky ground. But in a dense, moisture-retaining potting mix, that same storage trait becomes a disadvantage. The roots are holding moisture internally, while the surrounding soil is also holding moisture externally. That combined saturation is where most snake plant root problems quietly begin. What the roots genuinely need is a growing medium that releases water fast, stays open and airy between waterings, and does not pack down tightly around the roots over time. Compaction is a secondary problem that bagged soil creates as weeks and months pass. Even if the mix drains reasonably at first, it tends to consolidate under its own weight and under repeated watering pressure. When that happens, air pockets disappear, drainage slows, and the root zone becomes increasingly hostile to the plant's natural preferences. This root logic is the lens through which every soil ingredient decision should be made. Walk into any garden center and pick up a bag of standard potting mix. Read the label. You will commonly find peat moss or cocoa coir as the primary base ingredient, often combined with compost and sometimes a wetting agent. These ingredients are not bad in general. They are genuinely useful for many plant types. But for a snake plant, they create a specific set of problems. Peat moss is excellent at retaining moisture, that is its main function. Cocoa coir also holds water quite well, though it performs better than peat in terms of structure. Compost adds nutrients and organic matter, but it also adds density. When these moisture-holding materials make up the bulk of a potting mix, the result is a growing medium that stays damp for extended periods after watering. For a tomato plant or a fern, that is ideal. For a snake plant, that extended dampness is exactly the condition its roots are least equipped to handle. There is also the structural issue. Many bagged mixes include bark pieces and perlite in small amounts, but not always in proportions that are meaningful for a plant with snake plant level drainage needs. The overall texture remains fine and dense. Over time, especially in a tight pot, this dense base material compacts further. Roots that were initially spreading freely begin to encounter increasing resistance. Water that once moved through the mix reasonably starts pooling instead. Growers often respond by watering less frequently, which helps somewhat, but it does not fix the underlying structural problem. The soil itself has become the bottleneck, and because snake plants are slow to show stress visually, the root damage can progress for weeks before the grower realizes anything is wrong. This is the ingredient combination I mentioned at the start of this video, the one most growers never think to build intentionally. And once the reasoning behind each component is clear, the formula makes complete sense. The goal of a snake plant soil mix is not to feed the plant aggressively. It is to create a growing environment where the roots stay comfortable between waterings, aerated, free draining, and structurally stable over time. A strong working formula for most snake plant setups is this: approximately 40% coarse materials such as perlite or coarse sand, approximately 40% well-structured base such as a quality cactus and succulent mix or a lightly amended potting mix, and approximately 20% inorganic grit such as pumice or fine gravel. This ratio can shift based on your local climate and watering habits. If your environment is humid or you tend to water more often, increase the coarse material proportion. If your environment is dry and your watering is already minimal, the formula above works well as a stable starting point. The cactus and succulent mix component handles the base structure and provides a small amount of nutrient content without excessive moisture retention. The perlite or coarse sand handles fast drainage and immediate aeration. The pumice or fine gravel adds long-term structural stability and prevents compaction from developing over time. Together, these three components solve the three problems that bagged standard potting mix creates: slow drainage, poor aeration, and gradual compaction. The mix is not complicated to assemble. It is widely available in most nurseries and garden supply stores, and it gives the snake plant exactly the root environment its biology is designed for. Every ingredient in a well-designed snake plant mix earns its place for a specific reason. Understanding what each one does helps growers make smart substitutions when a specific material is not available locally. Perlite is a lightweight volcanic material that creates air pockets inside the mix. It does not retain moisture in a meaningful way. After watering, it allows water to pass through quickly and then stays open so air can circulate around the roots. It is one of the most accessible and consistently reliable drainage materials available for home growers. Coarse sand serves a similar function to perlite in terms of drainage, but it also adds weight and a denser particle structure. It works well in mixes where some additional ballast is helpful, particularly for larger snake plants in taller pots that might otherwise become top-heavy. Fine gravel or grit adds structural permanence to the mix. Unlike organic components that break down over months, inorganic grit holds its particle size and shape. This means the mix retains its open texture and drainage quality far longer than an organic-only blend. Pumice is a particularly strong choice here because it is both lightweight and highly porous. It improves drainage while also holding a very small amount of moisture in its surface pores, just enough to keep the immediate root zone from becoming completely bone dry during extended dry periods. The cactus and succulent base mix provides the foundation. It typically contains a blend of coarse materials already adjusted for low moisture plants, so it starts from a better drainage position than standard potting mix. When combined with additional perlite and grit, it reaches the level of drainage and aeration that snake plant roots genuinely prefer. No ingredient in this mix is there for appearance. Each one solves a real root environment problem. If you have stayed with this video to this point, you already understand more about snake plant soil than most growers ever take the time to learn. But here is where it matters most, because knowing the right formula is only half the picture. The other half is knowing what quietly undoes a good mix before the plant ever gets a fair chance. The first and most common mistake is using too little coarse material. Growers read that perlite is helpful, so they add a small handful to a largely standard potting mix and consider the problem solved. A small handful of perlite in a moisture-heavy base does not meaningfully change the drainage behavior of the mix. The ratio matters. If the coarse fraction is not substantial enough, the base material still dominates the moisture behavior of the entire mix. The second mistake is using fine sand instead of coarse sand. It has very small particle sizes. When mixed with organic material and watered repeatedly, fine sand can actually contribute to compaction rather than prevent it. Coarse horticultural sand has larger particle sizes that maintain open texture over time. The particle size distinction is genuinely important and worth paying attention to when sourcing materials. The third mistake is skipping the inorganic grit component entirely. Growers sometimes build a mix using only perlite and cactus mix, which is a reasonable starting point, but over time, especially after 6 to 12 months in the same pot, the organic fraction of even a cactus mix begins to break down. As it breaks down, it becomes finer and denser. Without an inorganic grit component to maintain structural stability, the mix gradually loses its open character. Adding pumice, fine gravel, or coarse grit to the formula extends the effective life of the mix and keeps drainage consistent for longer. The fourth mistake is compressing the mix into the pot. When repotting, some growers press the soil firmly around the roots to eliminate air gaps. For many plants, that is appropriate. For a snake plant, firm compression reduces the very air pockets the mix was designed to create. The soil should be settled gently, tapped lightly at the sides, but never pressed hard. The fifth mistake is choosing a pot without proper drainage holes and assuming the soil mix will compensate. No soil mix, no matter how well designed, fully overcomes the absence of drainage holes in a container. Water must be able to exit the pot. Without that exit, even the most open mix will eventually accumulate standing moisture at the base of the pot, where the roots are most active. The soil formula is one part of the solution. The container must also do its job. Snake plants are genuinely forgiving plants in many areas of care. But the one area where their tolerance runs thin is prolonged moisture around the roots. Bagged standard potting mix is not a neutral starting point for this plant. It is a moisture-retaining design built for a different group of plants entirely. Using it for a snake plant means asking the roots to adapt to conditions they are not naturally suited for. And over time, that mismatch shows. The solution is not complicated. A fast-draining mix built around coarse perlite or sand, a cactus and succulent base, and an inorganic grit component like pumice or fine gravel gives the roots the environment they are looking for. It drains fast, it stays aerated, it resists compaction over time. And it keeps the plant in the growing condition it prefers, rather than the recovering condition it tolerates. This approach makes the most sense for growers who want a snake plant that stays genuinely healthy over the long term, not just alive, but structurally sound at the root level. It also makes sense for anyone growing snake plants at scale, whether for home enjoyment or nursery purposes, because a correctly soiled plant needs far less corrective intervention as it matures. If this gave you a clearer picture of what your snake plant actually needs from the ground up, give this video a like. It helps more growers find this kind of practical content. Drop a comment below and tell us what mix you are currently using or what ingredient you plan to try first. And subscribe to Plant ER Lab for more practical plant ideas that are grounded in how plants actually grow, not just how they look on a shelf.